Good morning and welcome to the Media Speaks Live Saturday morning news show. I'm D. Lake for Prez, David Lake, reporting for the MediaSpeaks.com. I'm joined this morning by Sam I.B. DeGangi, Sam of the Correct Views, and the band Passing Time, Samuel.
Greetings, unsettled souls. Welcome to the Media Speaks Saturday edition. Hit
The
share.
Correct Views, Media
It's going to be a
Speaks
good one.
Yeah, everyone please like our video. Please check out our website, www.themediaspeaks.com, or don't, because I think we need to work on it a little bit, Sam. So maybe people shouldn't go there, but go there. Because you want to know what's interesting when you go there? You're like, when was the last time they posted an update? Some of the stuff seems a little bit out of date. But you want to know what, mother effers? The stuff that we were posting back in 2012 after the attack on the consulate in Benghazi might just be fucking relevant today. Why don't you go back and watch D. Lake's videos where I talked about the innocence of the Muslims video being a dubbed over piece of junk. How dare they blame that on that shit when counterterrorism expert Matt Olson was saying it was an Al-Qaeda attack. It came out this week in Hillary's testimony that she told her family, the Egyptian ambassador, and other foreign leaders that it was an Al-Qaeda-like terrorist attack. Meanwhile, she sends Susan Rice as her representative on the 5 Sunday shows to repeat the nonsense and garbage that it had to do with innocence of the Muslims. A YouTube video! Barack Obama went before the United Nations, gave a big, giant, long speech about how that video was so insulting that it caused the death of Ambassador Christopher Stevens. I don't fucking think so. I think maybe they were running guns through Turkey to fucking ISIS. All right, Sam, I'm getting pretty heated up this morning. How do you feel about it?
I think that the video, I actually wouldn't be surprised if the video did lead towards some of the violence, but I think what she did was used a very small number of people that were using that as the reason and then tried to imply that that's what the reason was in total. I think there was video of people being offended by that movie, but my thing is I don't care if it offends them or not. I'd like to see the movie in every theater in America.
The movie Innocence of the Muslims?
Yes, because they need to learn that we're not going to capitulate to what they want. The Islamists, if they don't like it, they can go to hell.
Well,
we don't
Sam,
care if they like it. We don't care.
Well, I mean, to go back into history, I remember the things that I talked about, that the guy had the director had an astronomical budget for this movie, but all the people involved in the movie thought they were making a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And then it was a dubbed over piece of junk, which is what I covered, where the actors found out later that it became an anti-Muhammad sentiment. And we've since had people drawing pictures of the Prophet Muhammad, and that caused more terrorism. So were those cartoon drawing terrorist events on Pamela Geller just set up and exposed by the media to try to bolster the Barack Obama administration's claims that a YouTube video could set off this protest? But I mean, was it people upset about a YouTube video, or just some people that wanted to kill some random Americans? What difference at this point does it make? What difference? All right, Sam, Democratic U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on yesterday denounced as pathetic and totally ridiculous. Totally fucking ridiculous, Sam. A Republican congressman's call to impeach her on her first day in office if she is elected to the White House. Now, Mo Brooks of Alabama said if Hillary Clinton gets elected on her very first day, he told a radio interviewer, quote, "She will be a unique president if she is elected by the public next November, because the day she is sworn in is the day that she is subject to impeachment because she has committed high crimes and misdemeanors. Appearing on MSNBC's The Rachel Maddow Show, Sam, Hillary Clinton had all kinds of left cover. Clinton said of the comments by Brooks, "Isn't that pathetic? It's just laughable. It's just totally ridiculous." It perhaps is good politics with, the most sensitive extreme part of their base, my enemies that I just said in the last debate, those stinking Republicans, those GD Republicans, that vast right-wing fucking conspiracy. I guess that is or otherwise why they be doing it. Why would they be doing it? They be doing it. It's a right-wing conspiracy. I'm Hillary Clinton. I appeal to the black population. Check me out, Democrats. Yo, do you guys want to pay some more money? Sam, you're a little sleepy today, and I'm getting all hyped up. Don't let me steal the show with my stupid antics. How did you feel about Hillary Clinton's testimony this week, and what did you see of it? Before I get to my next point, go ahead, Sam.
The most interesting thing that I had seen was that she said, anybody listening to this, you're not going to want to go to the site because it's full of pop-ups. It's like a spam site. The Washington Times is actually impossible to go to their website. I really don't encourage people to do it. But for the sake of sources, and if you'd like to shut your computer down with pop-ups, Hillary Clinton pins the responsibility on Christopher Stevens. Now, this I thought was interesting. She's trying to say that it wasn't up to her to keep him safe. It was up to him to keep himself safe. Former Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton brushed aside emails Thursday that showed that she privately told family and world leaders that the 2012 attack on the U.S. diplomatic post in Benghazi was a terrorist assault, and that Ambassador Christopher Stevens was responsible for his own decisions regarding skimpy security ahead of his death. So what you've got here is privately her saying, well, I don't care what happens to him, it was his fault. And now that has gotten out. Testifying to the House Select Committee on Benghazi, as she tried to hide the emails that I'm talking about, a composed and controlled Hillary Clinton was involved in big decisions of deploying Stevens to Libya and pressing President Obama to lead the war effort of the ousted Muammar Gaddafi. But she deflected responsibility for much that went wrong, saying that the ambassador's requests for more protection, which were denied, were handled at levels beneath her. In other words, other people under her had said no, and she didn't really know that they had said no because she was too busy getting rid of Gaddafi. And of course, that utterly destroyed Libya because while Gaddafi had his faults, he had not been a problem for anybody in 20 years. Mrs. Clinton also revealed that she gave orders for her lawyers and orders to go through her emails, but she did not look over their shoulder and didn't know exactly how they decided which emails or work-related businesses. And she declined to agree to release any emails recovered from her server. So basically what she's doing is saying that she's the most transparent most transparent person running for president, and yet she can't even
ever in the history of the world, right?
The hearing lasted more than 8 hours. Mrs. Clinton escaped
11.
without a major gaffe that she had in 2013, the whole why doesn't matter thing. But her statement issued the night of September 11th that appeared to attribute the violence to inflammatory material posted on the internet, the movie I support, was actually meant to be a warning to others not to blame the video, something that didn't come to pass that way. So I'm going to get off this site because it keeps refreshing and it's too annoying to read. But what she's doing is displaying her great transparency that she says she has for the world to see and giving half answers and throwing the blame to other people. So D-Lake's on mute. I don't know for sure if you've been following this as well, but Every time she says how transparent she is, the main thing that does is lead to her immediately doing something that proves less transparency than could ever be humanly imagined. And I've known that over and over and over again with her. Whenever she says one thing, you can guarantee that it's because she's about to do something that's the polar opposite, and she's looking to cover her for it. I found that to be true almost without fail. You still with me, D Lake? Oh, we have lost D Lake, friends. But yeah, I mean, if you're watching this right now while we wait for his feed to return, remember that this is the kind of presidency that we're going to have from her, where she justifies going into Libya, throwing Gaddafi out, and destroying the entire nation. It was running very well before. It was considered the jewel of the Middle East. She has now made it the dung beetle hut of the Middle East. Not only does she justify that, which is even worse than the death of Chris Stevens, but when talking about Stevens, she blames the man for his own death after was part of a administration that sent him there. When again, he shouldn't have been there at all because Libya was a problem to absolutely no one. It was not our concern, and all we've done is make it much worse. And of course, that's what led to ISIS. It's what ISIS came out of. It was the final nail in the coffin for the unholy unity and alliance that we now know of as ISIS. So, I don't know. I know one thing for sure. If we don't find some way to really, really push the ability of the average American to think and to absorb and to truly listen and understand what it is that's going on and what this woman represents, most people are absolutely blind to it. They have no ability to grasp it. They have no ability to even articulate what it is. That this woman is a lying detriment to the country. And as we wait for D-Lake to come back in, because I do think Google, being the absolute crap ass hut of the internet, has probably tossed him off. So I'm going to go ahead quickly into some news from the science front that I had. NCARB, September 29th, 2015, scientist discovers health breakthroughs from the Russian space program. This I thought was interesting and kind of unexpected. The International Academy for Regulatory Medicine and Consciousness Research, which is NCARB, and that's in memoriam of Professor Bravsky, with clinical practice is a center for health instruction and seminars, which its initiator, Professor Dr. Enrico Ettinger and Dr. Nauk, VKK Moscow, blah, blah, blah. You can look up who they are. I'm going to bore everybody to death with who they are. It unites conventional medicine and university-grade quality-assured holistic medicine with high-quality space travel medical processes, and it's all in one location. It said for many years, Professor Ettinger has concerned himself with research into chronic illnesses and the prevention, improving the performance of patients and athletes, and improving the capacity of the brain to learn in both children and adults. In order to do this, he constantly exchanges information on various disciplines with scientists from all over the world, such as the head of the International Space Travel Authority, Professor Borevsky, the head of the International Union, and Professor Zagadaski, was able to bring Dr. Pavlov safely back to Earth, both home and rejuvenated, after 437 days in orbit. The world-renowned neurobiologist, sleep researcher, and space travel medicine specialist, Dr. Professor Hecht, author of the book Living Cells, and one of, as well as Professor, it looks like Trimanov, is the doctor who made a name for himself with his research into optimized rejuvenation science through cosmic influences, as well as known quantum and cosmophysicist Dr. Dieter Boras, who is responsible for the intervention of the unique DNA repair DNA repair system Megawave. The chemist and quantum physicist Dr. Klaus Volkamer, the first scientist in the world to be able to measure fine quantums and the main developer of the ionized oxygen method, which was used and had a strong influence on tumors and athlete regulation. So basically, it's all being tied together, and they're finding ways to make us irrelevant in the space age, and how ways that we can actually stay in space long enough to get this done, and how this is affecting things on Earth. Like, for instance, we know maybe the Tang commercials. Anybody remember the Tang commercials? If you do, then of course, that and microwaves and transistors, many of the things we use today were made and or bettered due to space and the exploration and the quest for knowledge that we've been on to get us there and sustain us there in some healthy manner. Because again, it's a radioactive wasteland up there. And a unique concept based on long-term experiences and in cooperation with leading scientists, it has been possible to come to the first time ever to develop a scientific method of atheological diagnosis and therapy, which uses a holistic approach to medicine while looking at personal, mental, physical, and spiritual resources based on the regulatory and energy principles of the human body. Chronic illnesses such as diabetes, cancer, allergies, and other autoimmune diseases, diseases of the musculoskeletal system, burnout syndrome, depression, sleep disorders, and many other illnesses which are on the increase. Today, we are exposed to extreme psychological and physical stress. This stress may be found in even more extreme levels in space travel. And they're finding ways, both holistically and non-holistically, to tie this together and to help this become something that we can do and that we can sustain and keep going into the future with. These are things that are going to put us into space and help us be able to stay there without going mad or coming back with radiation poisoning. And if so, they're finding